Over 2 centuries ago, a revolution erupted in the heart of France, a struggle for liberty, equality, and fraternity that would change the world forever. This wasn't just a rebellion against a monarchy, but against an entire social order that had stood for centuries. The seeds of this upheaval were sown in the rich soil of the 18th century, a time of enlightenment, exploration, and profound social change. It was an era of grandeur in France, an age of opulence and extravagance marked by the splendor of the Palace of Versailles. Yet, beneath the glittering surface of prosperity, the majority of the French people were grappling with the harsh realities of life. The lower classes, the peasants, and the urban workers, known as the Third Estate, bore the brunt of heavy taxation, while the nobility and the clergy enjoyed privileges and exemptions. The wide chasm between the haves and the have-nots was deepening, and discontent was simmering. The ideas of philosophers like Rousseau and Voltaire, advocating for social equality and challenging the divine right of kings, were spreading like wildfire. The Third Estate, inspired by these radical notions, began to question their place in a society that offered them little more than hardship and injustice. As the 18th century drew to a close, France was on the brink of bankruptcy due to costly wars and royal extravagance. The burden once again fell on the Third Estate, intensifying their resentment. The call for a fairer distribution of taxes was gaining momentum, and the demand for representation was growing louder. The stage was set for a revolution, a seismic shift that would shake the very foundations of the French society. It was more than just a revolt against an oppressive regime. It was a rebellion against a system that had perpetuated inequality and injustice for centuries. And at the heart of this storm was a powerful rallying cry, a vision of a society where liberty, equality, and fraternity were more than just ideals. But beneath the surface of prosperity, a storm was brewing, a storm of ideas and aspirations for a new social order. As the old order crumbled, France navigated through uncharted waters, steering the course of human rights and democracy. A tempest of events swept the nation off its feet. Among these, the storming of the Bastille marked a turning point. Here, the common people of France rose against the oppressive monarchy, igniting the spark of revolution. In the wake of this audacious act, the monarchy crumbled, a symbol of the old regime reduced to dust. Louis XVI, a king who had inherited a kingdom on the brink of bankruptcy, found himself at the mercy of the revolutionaries. His wife, Marie Antoinette, once the queen of fashion, would also pay the price for the monarchy's excesses. Yet, as one order fell, another rose from its ashes. The Republic was born, a beacon of democracy amidst the chaos. Its birth was not without pain, marked by the Reign of Terror. This period saw radical revolutionaries, led by figures such as Maximilien Robespierre and Jean-Paul Marat, seize control. They wielded the guillotine as an instrument of fear, enforcing their rule with a bloody hand. But despite the terror, the revolution was not just about violence. It was a time of great intellectual ferment, a time when men and women dared to dream of a world built on the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. These ideas were not confined to the borders of France. They inspired people far and wide. From the common American citizen to the Russian serf, from the Indian peasant to the African slave, the echoes of the French Revolution reverberated around the globe. The ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity challenged the old regimes, inspiring countless others to rise up and demand their rights. Indeed, the French Revolution was a tumultuous time of transition, but through the chaos and upheaval, it forged a new world, a world that dared to dream of freedom, equality, and brotherhood. And these dreams, these ideals, continue to inspire us even today. The echoes of liberty, equality, and fraternity resonated beyond French borders, inspiring nations and peoples to challenge the old regimes. The revolution was not just a political upheaval. It was a human drama, played out on the streets of Paris and the halls of power. The French Revolution was a time of intense change and upheaval, and it was the common people, the sans-culottes, who were often at the forefront of these changes. These were the laborers, the artisans, the shopkeepers, the backbone of Paris. Fueled by a fervor for change and a belief in the revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, they were the driving force behind many of the revolution's most significant events. But the revolution was not just about lofty ideals. It was also about the harsh realities of life in a time of change. The guillotine, a chilling symbol of the revolution, brought a stark terror to the streets of Paris. It was a machine of death, ruthlessly efficient, and it claimed the lives of thousands, from the king and queen to the revolution's own leaders. Yet even in the face of such terror, the people of France held firm. They faced the guillotine with courage and conviction, steadfast in their belief in the principles of the revolution. Many went to their deaths singing revolutionary songs, their final words a testament to their unwavering belief in the cause of liberty. But the revolution was not just about death. It was also about life, about the debates and discussions that took place within the National Convention, about the new laws and reforms that were enacted, about the hope for a better future that kept the people going even in the darkest of times. The French Revolution was a time of great turbulence and change. It was a time of fear and uncertainty, but also of hope and courage. It was a time when ordinary people stood up and made their voices heard, when they dared to dream of a better world and were willing to fight for it. In the face of uncertainty and fear, the people of France stood steadfast in their pursuit of liberty. In the wake of the revolution, a new power rose to prominence: Napoleon Bonaparte. This charismatic and ambitious leader emerged from the political chaos of the French Revolution, seizing the reins of power and declaring himself emperor. Napoleon's rise was meteoric, fueled by his military prowess and magnetic personality. He swiftly brought order and stability to a nation that had been torn asunder by years of upheaval. Napoleon's impact on France and Europe was profound. He implemented a series of reforms known as the Napoleonic Code, which had a lasting influence on civil law systems around the world. These laws standardized French laws and abolished many of the privileges that the nobility and clergy had enjoyed under the Ancien Regime. Despite being a dictator, Napoleon was seen by many as a champion of the revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. However, Napoleon's thirst for expansion led to a series of wars known as the Napoleonic Wars. These conflicts pitted France against various European powers and stretched across the continent, changing the face of Europe. Napoleon's military genius led France to numerous victories, but his ambition also proved to be his downfall. His ill-fated invasion of Russia in 1812 marked the beginning of the end for his empire. After suffering several defeats, Napoleon was finally exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he lived out the rest of his days. His empire crumbled, but his impact on France and the world endured. The Napoleonic Code, his greatest domestic achievement, continues to form the basis of many civil law systems today. Napoleon's reign marked a pivotal transition from revolution to empire, but the ideals of the revolution were far from forgotten. The echoes of liberty, equality, and fraternity continued to resonate, inspiring future generations to challenge the status quo and fight for their rights. The French Revolution may have given way to the rule of an emperor, but its spirit lived on, forever ingrained in the fabric of French society. The French Revolution, a tumultuous period of radical change and upheaval, left an indelible mark on world history. This wasn't a mere footnote in the annals of time, but a seismic shift that reverberated across continents, forever altering the course of human civilization. The ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, once confined to the philosophical musings of Enlightenment thinkers, were now etched in blood and tears on the cobblestones of Paris. They had been wrested from the grip of the privileged few and gifted to the world, transforming the way societies thought about governance and human rights. The revolution's legacy is palpable in the democratic institutions that now dot the globe. The idea that power should rest with the people, not with an absolute monarch or an entrenched aristocracy, has become a cornerstone of modern governance. It was a message from the heart of France that rang out loud and clear, a message that no palace walls or fortress gates could contain. But the French Revolution wasn't just about toppling a monarchy or drafting a constitution. It was a crucible of human aspiration and sacrifice, of hope and despair, of lofty ideals and harsh realities. It was a testament to the power of ideas, and a stark reminder of the cost of freedom. This legacy continues to influence our contemporary struggle for human rights. From women's suffrage movements to civil rights marches, from anti-apartheid protests to fights for LGBTQ+ rights, the echoes of the French Revolution can be heard. The spirit of the sans-culottes lives on in every individual who dares to challenge oppression and inequality. Yet the revolution also serves as a sobering warning. The reign of terror, the guillotine's blade, the the rise of a military dictatorship under Napoleon Bonaparte. These are stark reminders of how the pursuit of liberty can descend into chaos and tyranny, if not tempered with justice and restraint. The French Revolution, a beacon of hope and a warning from history, continues to inspire and caution us about the power of ideas and the cost of freedom. It stands as a testament to the unyielding human spirit and its ceaseless quest for a better, fairer world.